Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm really honored to be here. I think this is a really special event. Really to honor, the kids, the student athletes, the sports stars, and what you've done to this point in time. I think for all of you kids that are here, I think it's a good moment to sit back and really enjoy it and realize that you've accomplished something special because you sacrificed and you've done things that a lot of other kids haven't done or won't do in order to be successful. So I commend all of you on that, and I think it's awesome to be here. I think back 20 years ago when I was doing something like this and what it felt like to be recognized and to be part of something special. And it's awesome. Leonardo da Vinci once said that people of accomplishment rarely sit back and let things happen to them. They go out and happen to things. And I think that that's really what the kids in here really represent, is they're happening to things. And although we're talking success, I really want to turn the tables on you guys for a quick moment. Because there will be times when you won't be recognized and you won't be in places like this. And you may feel like a failure, you may struggle. And the question I would have to ask you is how you're reacting to those types of situations. And I would really like to share a story of a critical moment, I think, in my life, where I was going through a situation that really defined who I am now. And it could have gone multiple different ways. And I'd like to share it with you guys, and hopefully it will resonate with some of you in the room. So the date is January 17th, 2003. I was a college senior at Denver University, and I was attending my first day doing an accounting internship for PricewaterhouseCoopers. And I was sitting there at this desk, really uncomfortable in a suit. I don't like to wear suits. Even though I'm dressed up today, I don't like to wear suits. And it was also a big day in my college soccer career, in my career in general, because it was the day of the Major League Soccer Super Draft. And so this was where all the best kids in the entire nation were going to be picked by professional teams to play in the United States of America. And my dream since 1994 was to be a pro soccer player. It was, why my heart was beating. It was the whole reason I got up in the morning, I trained, and I sacrificed, just like you guys have all sacrificed to be here today. And I felt like, looking at this draft, I deserved to be picked. And the draft was 60 picks, so 6 rounds. And remember, I'm dressed in suit and tie. I'm cranking out numbers for PricewaterhouseCoopers, this internship, and I'm checking the internet for results at the same time, of course. And this is 2003, so the internet was really slow. So as I'm sitting there trying to check results, I haven't hit the auto refresh button because there was no auto refresh back in those days, and the result would just come down like so slow, achingly so slow, like that. So six rounds of this, 60 picks. I'm sitting there having to wait to get my number called, and it was really brutal. By the 6th round, I hadn't been picked. My nerves were absolutely frazzled. Again, I was supposed to be getting paid to do accounting, but I was really watching the screen to see what would happen in my life. Now, would I get picked? Would I be a professional soccer player, or potentially just would I be an accountant for the rest of my life? That's what I thought in my head. And so, getting drafted was ultimately the culmination of all the hard work I had come to be in that point in time. And so the 60th pick comes up. I hit this auto refresh button, and the screen just goes down below just so slowly, and I'm just like, come on, get my name called, get my name called. This is going to be the greatest story of the last pick of 2003 Super Draft. And sure enough, it wasn't me. It was a guy by the name of Byron Carmichael from Marshall University that I'd never heard of in my life. And I remember feeling so frustrated and angry and devastated that I didn't get drafted, I didn't get picked, and I thought I deserved it. I thought, what about me? Didn't I deserve this? And so I checked my phone and I get all these texts from my friends and family. It's like condolences, right? It's like, you had a great career and now it's over. I'm sorry. My mom had a couple things to say, like, was really fun to watch it all these years, but I guess now I get to play the rec league or something. And so I also noticed I had missed a call from a local number in Colorado, so I checked my voicemail, and it was the head coach for Colorado Rapids, and he said, left me a voice message. He said, "Hey Nat, sorry we didn't pick you up, but we would love it if you came and tried out." And I kind of sat there and I thought to myself, like, what do you mean? Like, you didn't draft me, you didn't take a chance on me. Like, why would I want to come and play for you? And so I did what a lot of young people should do. Is I went to my mentor, my college coach at the time, and I vented to him. I said, "Hey, I didn't get picked up. I think that this tryout thing is BS. I'm not going to be a part of it." And he looked at me straight in the eye. He's like, "Matt, you are an idiot. It's like, this is your opportunity. Do you not see that? You got to go and you got to try out. You got to prove yourself. Okay, nobody's going to give you anything. You have to prove yourself that you deserve to be there, and you deserve to be better than those other people who got picked." And the light bulb kind of turned on, and it was like, this is my opportunity. I realized. So I was able to show up to the first day of training with this massive chip on my shoulder, and I played with this edge. I played with this small town edge in Pueblo, Colorado. I played with the big boys at Denver now, and I get to prove how good I am. And all the draft picks, funny enough, when I showed up there on day one, they looked like they were comfortable. They were just happy to be there. They were thinking that they'd already made the team, but no contracts had been signed. So the opportunity was there. And it was a 1-month trial, so plenty of time to prove myself. And I outfought, I outworked, I outlasted all of those draft picks. And I just really gave everything I possibly had. And that day came, a month later, coach called me into his office and said, "Hey Nat, we'd like to offer you a contract to play professional soccer. Are you interested?" I can't tell you. I said, "Give me that pen. I'm going to sign right now." I couldn't sign that contract fast enough. And that was an amazing feeling because I was able to overcome a situation where I thought that everything was over, and then the opportunity presented itself, and I was able to prove myself and achieve my goal of my dream of playing professional soccer. And now all of you here, you've achieved something special. You're here, you've done amazing things in your individual sports, and you're being honored for that. But the one thing I would say for you guys to remember is that on the journey to success, you're trying to get from point A to point B. You're going to have these twists, these turns. Things are going to go sideways. Sometimes you're going to go backwards. But the important thing is always to remember that you're going to achieve your goal. You have to keep your eye on the prize. You have to focus on that end game. And don't let those failures stop you. Don't let those struggles stop you. That's part of it. I think Ralph Waldo Emerson really summarized it for me when he said, "Our greatest glory is not in never failing, but in rising up every time we fail." And I think that really holds true for my entire career and what I believe in as a professional athlete and as a person today. Because I think every single one of us has gone through a struggle or something that we thought was a setback or failure. And if you look at it a little bit differently, you see the opportunity, then you're never going to be failing. You're always going to be achieving and be successful. So on that note, I really want to thank you guys for having me, and it's really been a pleasure to be here. And I think without further ado, we'll get these awards. Sound good? Awesome. Thank you guys.
I asked my staff guys, and most of you know Luke and Jake and Joaquin, and I asked them to do most of this. I only overrode them on one pick. So I really felt comfortable with the effort that those people did to make this thing happen. We're going to start with baseball, and our winner is JT Overstreet from Henley. This junior is a pitcher infielder, key component of Henley's baseball team, which advanced to the state semifinals for a 6th year in a row, the finals 5 years in a row. He's played on 1 championship team and 2 runner-up squads. One of 7 players from Henley who was named to this year's All-State baseball team, and he was named as a second-team infielder. Softball. I don't know if there's enough time to create all the accolades this young lady deserves, but our winner is McKenna Armentrout from Henley. She's a 4-year starter as the team's catcher, critical in the development of pitchers, and for a team that went 30-0 this year, the first team in Oregon to go undefeated with 30 victories in a season. She was the Skyline Conference Co-Player of the Year this year. She's also something about being a valedictorian with a 4.0 grade point average. You know, I made straight A's once, my B's were crooked, stuff like that. And while McKenna's there, we also want to recognize that undefeated softball team. So the Henley softball team is here, and we'd like you all to stand up and be recognized as the first team in Oregon to go undefeated and win 30 games in the season. And I think anyone who's been around team sports and done that and understands. And I'm looking at Josh down here. I'm going to go undefeated in anything, whether it be team or individual, is just absolutely ridiculous. We're going to move on to boys basketball. The guys picked Kyle Hadwick from Henley, Skyline Conference Boys Player of the Year. He helped Henley win the league championship and helped Klamath Falls teams dominate the Skyline Conference this year. And I don't know, is Kyle here tonight? If not, we will make some arrangements to get him his award. Girls Basketball Player of the Year. I've never met her, but I know her uncle real well. He's out at the ballpark because he owns the Gems now. But our winner is Ariana O'Connor. The second team All-State selection this year. She helped the Hornets reach the state tournament, and where they came up a couple points shy of making the final site this year, but they did make the final site a year ago. Cross country. Our boys winner is Kyle Dieter from Lakeview. He ran a 17-minute, 52-second run at the Class 3A state championships this last year. The best time of any runner from the Klamath or Basin, Klamath or the Lake counties. And he finished 34th, which was also the highest finish of any male runner at the state meet this year. And I know the couple times that I cover him, he led the Honkers throughout the season and is an exceptional distance runner and competed this year in the state tournament. Now, before I let Kyle come up, because he's going home with all the hardware. The girls' winner is Lily Taylor from Lakeview, who is checking colleges and things out, I believe, as we speak. She ran the fastest time among Klamath Basin runners at state in 21 minutes, 17 seconds, and placed 27th in her division of the state championships, which was the best of any runner from our area schools. So Kyle, come on up and get all your awards. And who gets the football. Silas Sanchez from Hosanna Christian. He was a first-team All-State running back. He excelled in basketball and track and field this year as well. He was a Mountain Valley League Offensive Player of the Year and helped the Lions to the state playoffs. Volleyball, and boy, have I heard from a few parents on volleyball about who wins this, but it was a tough choice. I think the potential nominees was ridiculous. It's Whitney Dirk from Bonanza. Whitney, are you here? Whitney, at volleyball, you got to understand, Klamath and Lake counties are ridiculously good, and she helped Bonanza to four state tournaments in her career, was a second-team All-State winner, and was a Mountain View Conference Player of the Year this season. Huh? Oh, he has his Kyle Hedrick, are you here now? Where are you at? We've already gone over all your accolades, so get up there and visit Nat. Our next winner. Once again, I'm not exactly sure that we can do that a few words do Craig Ronnie from Klamath Union just. He right now is ranked the #1 high school golfer in the state of Oregon, all classes. He is a finalist for the Golf of the Year honors for the Oregon Sports Award. Anyone who has read and followed the golf, he blistered the Running White course to become just the second Klamath Basin Invitational two-time winner with a moderate 8 under par 64. He capped the school year by winning the Class 4A state championship, which marked the 8th straight year that Klamath Falls has had a Class 4A state champion. Craig Ronnie from Klamath Union. Now we're going to tennis. And I don't know if you want to come up together or whatever. The boys winner is Hayden Lamb from Klamath Union. He's been to the state tournament a couple times. He was a consolation champion doubles winner as a sophomore with Leo Dosick. He went 1-1 year this year and reached the state quarterfinals. He's got some brains too. He's a class valedictorian at Klamath Union this year. And we're going to keep the tennis awards in the family. His sister Cortland is the girls' tennis player of the year, one of the many, many young freshman talents. She's not here? So I guess, Big Brother's going to take the award, which is pretty good. She placed third in this year's state tournament as a freshman. Track and field, boys. From Hosanna Christian, Hunter, I'm going to say it my way, Janssen. My Minnesota thing. I believe in doing it right. Hunter Janssen comes up. He won a pair of state championships this year in the shot put and the discus. 2-time state discus champion. His best shot put of the year at 45 feet 5 inches this year was the best performance by any shot put individual from the Klamath Basin. That's Klamath, Lake, Modoc, and Siskiyou counties. His best discus effort of 147.8 was about not quite 2 feet shy of the best effort in the basin this year. So, Hunter, come on up. Track and field for the girls. Kendra Murphy from North Lake, a 3-time Class 1A high jump champion. She's also placed in the 100 and the 200 meter dashes. Her winning effort at 5 feet 5 inches this year is the 4th best female high jumper in the state of Oregon, 1 inch shy of 3 6A individuals. What's probably most amazing is North Lake is building a track, so she really didn't have a place to practice this year. She also is a finalist, especially for the big award, the Johnny Carpenter Female Athlete of the Year at the Oregon Sports Awards for Class 3A, 2A, 1A athletes. And that's a big deal. Boys soccer from Henley, Josh Ledgerwood. Clearly a pedigree, but just knowing his dad and mom and a few others. And he clearly was the emotional leader of the Henley soccer team for the last couple of years that have made state playoffs kind of an annual thing. Girls soccer, Landy Williams from Mazama. She was the only Klamath Basin girl to gain all-state honors. She was a second-team pick. One of only 4 players from the Skyline Conference to gain any level of all-state recognition in soccer. She also was the Skyline Conference Girls Basketball Player of the Year. Boys swimming, TJ Morgan from Henley. Mom's coming up to pick up the award. TJ placed fifth in both the 50 and 100-yard freestyle races this year. Probably most impressive about that is if he could have placed 1.7 seconds in the proper places in both of those races, he would have joined probably one of the most select fraternities in Klamath Basin sports history. There have only been 2 male state swimming champions. If he could have placed his 1.7, he would have been the third. The last individual male swimmer to win a championship in swimming from Klamath Falls was 1965. And he's got another shot at it. Girls swimming. Carrie Woodward from Klamath Union. She narrowly missed going to state this year as a senior, but was a solid contributor for her 4 years in high school, and was one of the main reasons Klamath Union had its best turnout in numbers for swimming in probably 15 years. She also placed in the 100-yard breaststroke. And like I say, she almost qualified in the 200-yard individual medley. The winner is Josh Hammers from Mazama. Josh won the 182-pound state championship this year, his second state title. In doing so, he joined golfer Bryce Wardman and discus thrower Josh Peck as the only individuals in the history of Mazama High School to win 2 or more individual state championships. Possibly more impressive than his state championship was the fact that over the Christmas holidays, he went down to the Sierra Nevada Reno Open down and he placed third. This is, which may not seem like much, except that there's 64 wrestlers in each weight class, and they're from literally all over the West Coast. So that's going to bring us down to now the individuals who were selected as our male and female athlete of the year. And just so you can go back and have a little more pop, we're going to let Josh rest, and we'll start with Ariana O'Connor. Ariana O'Connor of Henley. She was the only all-state basketball player from the area. Also a key volleyball player, did a little track and field in there. And to be honest, I've been around for a long time, and she really does kind of fit the role, and McKenna, you're in that group too, of the incredible, multi-talented, multi-sport female athletes that we've had in this community. And what an honor it is to be able to have spent time doing them. Our male athlete of the year, we're going to bring Josh Hammers back up here from Mazama. Not only was he a dominant force in the sport of wrestling the last 2 years, he was the Skyline Conference Defensive Player of the Year this year in football. First team All-State linebacker. The only individual from the Skyline Conference to gain first team All-State honors. And as well, he's participated in a couple state track meets. And in my career, I can think of some people who have just, it's ridiculous, some of the things and how they've inspired teammates. I think of a young man in southern Minnesota who was a varsity cross-country runner as a sophomore, junior, and senior. Didn't matter what, he was always the number 7 guy on his team out of 7, except for one time when he finished 6th. That was the time his team tied for the district championship, and only the district champion got to go to state. His 6th place was better than 6th place of the team they tied, and that was the reason his team went to state. I think of a young man named Bernard Little Whiteman from Kyle High School in South Dakota. His right foot, his right leg, 5 inches shorter than the other. He was the inspiration for state championships out by that reservation high school. We had several this year. Young people overcoming ACL surgeries. We had a young lady from Henley who overcame a serious injury, was told she might not be able to ever walk again. She played basketball, ran track. But I like the winner that they picked this year. It's Winston Bowes of Butte Valley High School. And this is really amazing, and I'm one of those. It really bothers me. The term adversity gets tossed around an awful lot. Here's a young man who, in mid-December, early in the basketball season, lost his mother, and what he told Joaquin on a road trip was the last thing he told his mother. He promised her that he would, with confidence, that they would win the conference and sectional boys basketball championships, which is pretty amazing, except that Butte Valley High School had not won an Evergreen League basketball championship since 1978, and they'd never won a sectional. And with his contributions, all league honors, Butte Valley accomplished both of those goals. And I just think that's just admirable beyond any comprehension. So what we're going to do, yeah, I think that deserves that. Nat came down here on a shoestring, and I've been around this kind of stuff for a long time, and I know a couple of our sister papers. I won't tell you how much money they've had to pay for their guest speakers, but Matt came down on a shoestring. Penn Air gave us an airplane ticket for him. We were able to get him a car. So we thought, how can we thank him for coming down on a shoestring, on a last-minute thing? And at our last meeting, it was something I've done before. We were able to go out and get a small basket of goodies, and Penn Air will take care of this, so you can take these bottles home. But we've got for him a bottle of Bloody Point wine. Anybody, I don't know how many of you know that, but they actually grow the grapes just outside of Tule Lake and bottle it down in Modoc County. There's everything we're giving him. There's some beer, there's some wine, there's jelly, there's honey, barbecue sauce. Everything there is produced in our area. So that's pretty kind of a neat gift, and appreciate Ben Kenfield, our ad director, for working on that and bringing it up. And I think he has a photo that he wants all of our winners to sign also that is going to Nat.